Learning and practicing the basic strokes and maneuvers will give you and your partner the confidence to control your canoe and enjoy the water safely. These techniques work well in both tandem and solo boats. We'll show you the techniques in a tandem canoe. The stroke you use most of the time in a canoe is called the forward stroke. It's used to propel the boat forward, and it looks like this. Before you begin, let's review the proper body posture and paddle position. You should be sitting up straight in your boat, not necessarily leaning on the backrest. This will allow good core engagement and torso rotation. You'll want a nice, easy grip on the paddle shaft with arms at about 90-degree angles. Twist your whole body and reach forward to plant the blade up about as far as you can comfortably reach. Now unwind your torso, pulling the paddle back to about your hips, and exit the paddle out of the water by dropping your top hand. Then wind up for the next stroke. Repeat over and over, and you're moving forward. Keep the shaft more vertical to direct power into forward momentum. A low shaft angle will turn the boat, which we'll get to next. Notice how the power from the stroke is coming from the big muscles of the torso, not just arm action. As the canoe begins moving forward, you will notice that the bow will begin to veer to the side opposite from the side the bow paddler is paddling. This is because there is more turning leverage at the back of the canoe. There are two techniques that work well. One is to simply switch sides before the veer gets out of control, and is called hit and switch. The stern paddler makes the call when the switch is to happen with a call of hut. At this command, both paddlers switch sides and continue until the next hut is needed. The boat course will be a slight zigzag. The other technique is for the stern paddler to do a J-stroke to correct the veer. This involves leaving the paddle in the water after the forward part of the stroke and prying it outwards, creating a rudder effect to counter the turn. The bow paddler doesn't need to worry about keeping the boat straight. This is the responsibility of the stern paddler. Even with this technique, an occasional hut is good to keep things in balance and use both sides of your body. Now that you're moving forward, let's throw in a couple quick reverse strokes to stop the boat. By balancing out bow to stern strokes, you can maintain a straight position. If you continue to paddle using this stroke, the boat will move in reverse. Look behind you to see where you are going and go slow to stay in control. It's easy to veer out of control in reverse. Spinning the boat at rest is useful for maneuvering in tight quarters or for changing direction. You'll use sweep strokes for this. The sweep is done both at the bow and the stern. It can be done both forward and reverse, and in combination, they will spin the canoe quite quickly. These strokes vary from the forward stroke in that you will keep the shaft low, in a more horizontal position, and sweep it away from the boat in a circular pattern. Like the forward stroke, begin by rotating your body and reaching forward. Keeping the shaft low, sweep out away from the boat in an arc. At the bow, the stroke goes from far forward and arcs out to perpendicular to the hull. Arcing all the way to the hull will not do any good. At the stern, start out at the perpendicular position and arc the stroke to the stern. Notice how a little bit of lean or boat edge will assist the turn. When the bow paddler does a forward sweep on one side and the stern paddler does a reverse sweep on the other side, the canoe will spin around. Sweeping out away from the hull and keeping your elbows low will help make this stroke really work. A forward-only sweep can be used for turning and changing course while you are underway. Since this stroke is related to the forward stroke, it will help you maintain speed and momentum. If you turn by using the reverse sweep or braking stroke, a quicker turn is possible, but the reverse action will slow or even stop the canoe. Experiment with these strokes and learn to communicate with your partner. Successful tandem canoeing depends on good communication skills. You can move your boat sideways to reach a dock or object in the water with a hip draw. This stroke takes some practice, and you'll want to get the technique down before too vigorous of an attempt. Begin by turning and facing the direction you want to move. Balance the boat with your hips as you reach with both hands out as far as you can, keeping the shaft of your paddle vertical. Plant the blade parallel to the boat, and once the blade is engaged, pull the paddle towards the hull. Try to use your lower hand only when pulling in. Once the blade is 3 to 6 inches from the hull, stop and exit the paddle out of the water by dropping the top hand forward. Repeat. These basic techniques will help you enjoy your time on the water, and remember to always use good judgment and not be out in conditions that might capsize you. Knowing your local waterway and possible dangers that exist is key to good safety on the water.